Hmm. Did you see the Bezos Sanchez wedding and immediately go into judgment mode because you thought that it was all over the top? Did you think that this was an obscene amount of money that was being spent on this wedding? And you found yourself thinking all these thoughts about the bride, about the guest list, about the amount of money that was spent. In this video, I'm going to tell you how this way of thinking actually stops abundance from flowing to you because you're getting caught in the matrix of lack, which is one of the biggest programming of all time. So, I'm going to talk about what my judgments were, and then I'm going to talk about the 6 truths that are actually over all of these events that play out on the world stage. Every single time that something is playing out on the world stage, it's an invitation to us to get really clear about what our judgments are, what our beliefs are, and how those beliefs are actually blocking abundance from arriving to us. But before I get into that, let's talk about the facts first so that we're all understanding what I'm actually talking about here. And so, Jeff Bezos, he's the founder of Amazon and he's estimated to be worth around 200 billion US dollars. And Lauren Sanchez, who is now his wife, is a former journalist and a helicopter pilot, media personality, and the founder of a company called Black Ops Aviation. Now, Venice is the city where they chose to have this big, extravagant wedding event. And there were a lot of concerns and protests in Venice because tourists are sick and tired of billionaires coming in and impacting the environment and then basically pricing them out of the picture so that they find that their own city is becoming too expensive to live in. And so the wedding itself was estimated to have cost around 55 million US dollars. The guest list was only 200 people, but within that guest list, they had a number of A-listers and they also had royalty in there as well. And so, despite people calling it out as vulgar and tacky and out of touch, what I'm going to be talking about here is what are the actual truths that we need to be aware of, which we need to connect to so that we don't block our own abundance. But first of all, let's look at the judgments that are on the surface of this wedding. And so these are some of the judgments that I also had before I realized that I was judging, and then I stopped myself and went, no, I'm not going to be caught into that lack matrix. Nope, I'm not going to be judging. But I still had them to begin with because I am human. And the first thing that I thought of was, oh my goodness, her face looks so overdone. And I was judging her appearance and judging all the cosmetic work that she thinks that she needs to do in order to be worthy. And by judging her, I was invalidating her own inherent beauty and her worth because I was judging the work that she was doing. You see how it all works? Like we're sitting here judging the work that somebody else is doing on their face. And whilst we are judging, what that means is that we are projecting her worth. So everything is such a paradox when we get really clear about what we are doing. We're projecting our own judgments onto other people. The second thing that I found myself judging was that, oh my goodness, there's only 200 people as a guest list, and yet most of them appear to be celebrities or A-listers. Like, don't they have people within their family and friends that are just normal people that they really care for and love? And again, that's another judgment about what is okay and what we consider to be okay. And another judgment was this whole event seems to be like a massive performance for the media. It doesn't feel genuine. It feels like there's this is just a performance. It doesn't feel like this is a celebration of love. And another judgment was $55 million for one wedding. And I was thinking, oh God, if I was a billionaire, I would not spend $55 million. I would give that somewhere else. Again, another judgment, but we're going to go really deep into how these judgments are actually blocking our own abundance. And so I thought, like, this money could be donated to so much good. It could serve a better cause than this wedding. But this is what we need to consider. Okay, this is truth number one, and I'm going to go through 6 truths. Truth number one, which is in this abundant universe, and I'm talking about this in a lot of detail in my book that's going to be published at the end of the year called Effortless. There is no lack. Abundance is infinite. And so when we judge others for the way that they display their wealth, it reveals our own relationship with lack. So, them having more does not mean we or anybody else has less. So, their abundance does not take away from you. This is not a pie where if they get 8 pieces, it means there's none left for us. The universe is infinite. And if we really believe that, then why would we judge them for whatever amount of money they choose to spend on their wedding? And so when we ask, well, why do they need to spend so much money on a wedding? Just imagine for a minute if you really did believe that abundance is infinite, if you really did believe that everything was available for everyone, then why would you care as to how much they spent? Because everybody is able to tap into abundance as long as you're not getting in the way and blocking the flow by believing in lack. And so by judging them, you are actually believing in lack. It's just such a basic principle, but the program that we've all had is so intricate and has been implemented so many generations ago that we still operate under its influence. It's very difficult to let go of this lack matrix. And so when you do see yourself judging others for the way they choose to spend their money, just remember the universe has infinite abundance that's available for you. Infinite. If you just catch yourself with your stories. I'm going to give you 5 more truths. Truth number 2. It's very interesting to see ego play under the disguise of moral superiority. This is called spiritual ego. So spiritual ego always takes the moral high ground, and it believes that other people are doing wrong so that you can feel better about yourself. This isn't coming from soul. This is coming from ego, because real spiritual integrity includes freedom from projection. And it's not disguised as ethical or moral concern. Number 3, the frequency of lack versus the frequency of love. So lack vibrates with judgment, lack vibrates with fear, love vibrates with freedom, acceptance, allowance for people to do whatever they need to do, whatever they want to do, no matter how ridiculous it appears to be to you. and sovereignty. It's a completely different frequency. The frequency of love attracts abundance. The frequency of lack attracts lack. I'm going to be giving you 3 more truths. And if you're finding that this video is resonating with you, please subscribe, please comment, please share so that we can get these spiritual truths out into the world so we can be free from the karmic loop of enslavement, so that we can connect to the truth of who we really are, so that we can free ourselves finally from these lies that keep us trapped into lack. Number 4, the karmic loops of scarcity. Every single time that we judge wealth, we affirm separation from it. We're basically saying, I'm judging wealth, which is the consciousness. I'm judging people that have wealth. I'm judging people that use wealth. And therefore, wealth is out there and I am here. And there's a war between us. But if we love wealth and we love the way people spend wealth, no matter what's going on in the world, then we become wealth. Because we are all one and there is no separation. Every single reaction is a mirror. Spiritual, oh, why did I get stuck on that word? Spiritual, I only say it like a million times. Spiritual truth number 5. I love this, and I always say this, that the world and planet Earth is a beautiful playground of experience. So Jeff Bezos may be a billionaire in this lifetime, but perhaps in previous lifetimes, he experienced the most, like poverty, where he didn't have anything. We all experience everything. We experience poverty and we experience wealth. We chose to experience this lifetime in these financial circumstances. And so planet Earth is this beautiful playground of experience where there are so many games to experience. And we each choose our roles and we each choose what ride to go on in this game of life. So why shame those who chose the role of wealthy and indulgent? Why shame them? That's the role they're playing. They're playing in their part of the playground on planet Earth. They're learning their own lessons and we're learning ours. Their soul chose those financial circumstances. Our soul chose these financial circumstances. And it's just a game. It's just a game. It's just an illusion. This whole life, it's a projection. It's not real. And so why are we shaming them for something that is not real? They've chosen to play in the wealthy part of the playground. And so rather than casting judgment, how about we just realize that we can play there too if we just realize that the walls between our playground and their playground are imaginary and they can be knocked down at any time as soon as we really believe that they can. Number 6, spiritual poverty versus material wealth. The belief that wealth is not spiritual is one of the oldest distortions in human consciousness. The belief that it's not okay, it's not loving to have this amount of wealth. It's available to you, it's available to me. All we need to do is get out of our own way. Just get out of our own way. It's right there if we realize that it's right there. It's just like the lottery winner that wins millions of dollars and the next thing you know, they're broke again. It's because their belief system is not aligned to that level of frequency. And that's why very wealthy people, they become bankrupt and they're easily able to create millions again. It's because they really believe that there's no reason as to why they can't have millions of dollars. And so their frequency is aligned with that. And so my invitation to you, so that you realize that you are stuck in the lack matrix and how you need to get out of your own way, is to ask yourself, where have I been unconsciously buying into the lack matrix? And you can easily do that by catching your judgments. When you see somebody who's wealthy, what are you thinking? Oh, what a wanker, what a tosser. Like, I wouldn't do that if I had that much money. What a waste. That is a judgment. And every time you judge, you actually reinforce that wall and that barrier between you and the consciousness of money. So, another question to ask yourself is, what does someone else's abundance or wealth trigger in me? Do a self inquiry. This is what I do every single time. The moment that I find myself judging because I'm programmed like everybody else, I quickly stop and, like, ooh, what's this judgment about? What am I really believing here? Am I really believing that I can't have it just because they're spending more? Am I rejecting wealth because I still fear that I don't deserve it in some way, that I'm not worthy of it in some way? Is it possible to bless other people's abundance while staying in full alignment with my own? And so there's a lot of points that I've raised in this video or this live stream. I really would love it if you give me in the comments below what resonated with everything that I said and what didn't. And it doesn't have to resonate, because these are my belief systems. It doesn't have to be yours, but what resonated and what didn't. I respond to every single comment in the comment field. And with that, I want to remind you of this final truth, which is the most important, which is always, always, always living truth. Judgment is not truth. Labels are not truth. Separation is not truth. So choose truth above everything else. Sending you so much love.